Jay here for Stretford Paddock. That's Joe Smith. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. The Reds with a comeback at Selhurst Park. We went behind the first half. We won it in the second half. A very, very good performance from Manchester United in that second half. Well worthy of the 3 points. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let us know what you think about that win, and a much needed win, especially after the debacle on Monday night. Joseph.
Yes.
Before the game, me and you were chatting, and I said to you, I felt this was like a pivotal game this now. After that loss against Everton, against 10 men, a lot of criticism. This is a game where you can sort of move you up the table if you get the 3 points, or you're going to be stuck down in that sort of mid to bottom half of the table if you lose. I felt like we needed something today. First half, you feared the worst, didn't you, after going behind? But then the second half, I mean, things just started getting going. And for me, I know it sounds melodramatic and I might be getting carried away, but that second half I think was just spot on. I think it was arguably as good as we played under him in that second half.
I think what we did much better in the second half is when the ball was bobbling and bouncing, it ended up with us having it so much more than the first half. The first half was a real scrappy game. We've seen a lot of games like that this season. The Brentford game was like it. I think there was parts of the game against Everton that were like it as well. We've had a few games, Forest as well was another one, where the ball's just up in the air all the time. You're just watching the ball land. Bad touches, bad passes, the ball's up in the air. It's people shoving each other out of the way, people elbowing each other in the face, and then them pushing us away and coming away with the ball. There's been so much of that this season. The Premier League has got a lot of that. It's just no one's really got possession, but United somehow come out on, losing those interactions and those altercations. And in the first half, that's what we saw more often than not, when we had these 2 or 3 moments where it's up in the air and then another scrap and another scrap and another scrap, and it ends up with Palace running away with the ball towards our goal, or in the middle of the pitch and doing it that way. They seem to dominate that. In the second half, that completely flipped.
Yeah.
I thought when we had those spells of the ball being all over the place, the outcome is Man United have got the ball. And to the point where, you mentioned it before, Crystal Palace didn't have a shot on target in the second half.
That was what impressed me most.
Because our second goal went in, what was it, the 70th minute?
Yeah.
It wasn't last second thing.
No.
It was maybe the 75th minute. I'm sure we can work that out. But United won the game comfortably after being so sort of struggling in the first half, after being so pressured in the first half. The way that second half panned out was really impressive. 2 moments of brilliant quality as well. Xerxes' goal was fantastic, and to say it was his first goal in 25 Premier League appearances.
To be fair, just to caveat that as well, which it is a woeful stat. 24 games without a goal, whatever it is. But I think he started his first Premier League game in 200 days the other day. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's had many starts in those games.
No,
so it's slightly misleading.
I would like to know how many of those games were starts, but even so, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
And he's not someone that's, even when he was starting regularly, wasn't chucking loads of goals in, but come up with a goal like that in a big moment. I think Ronaldo was saying Crystal Palace hadn't lost a game in the Premier League in 12 games. Yeah, that's amazing.
We can have a look at some stats here. Obviously, the main stat is the fact that United won 2-1. Expected goals XG 0.26 for Palace, 0.26 for United.
That's just second half, isn't it?
That's second half, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we'll go all. Forgive me. So, so expected goals, 1.97 for Palace. Let's not forget as well, they had a penalty. That puts your XG right up there, doesn't it? 1.25 United. 14, both had 14 total shots. We had 6 on target. They had 3. They had 3 big chances. We had 2. They missed 2 big chances. We missed 2. 79% pass accuracy for United, 73 for Palace. 14 fouls each committed and 4 corners each. The main thing is just watching that game in that second half, because going into the second half, you think Palace, they're 1-0 up, they're a good side. United haven't been great sort of in the second half far too often this season. You worry, don't you? You think it's going to be hard getting a draw out of this, let alone winning it. But to get the goals like we did, and then to keep it relatively comfortable, to stop Palace having any real chances in that second half, certainly to the point where Senna Lemons didn't really have much to do, was very, very impressive. Did you say no shots on target? Sorry.
None in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have anything to do then. So, yeah, that's very, very impressive for me, that. And I think that, listen, we've criticised Amrin when he deserves criticism, and there's still question marks there. I'm not saying that's all gone away, but I think he has to take credit there. That second half was much better for Manchester United, and I don't think it's just down to, someone was saying in the chat, individual brilliance. I think there's a point of what we did worked. in the second half, what we set out to do, what we did worked. Even the tweaks worked. Even the Euro for Mazraoui and Luke Shaw coming off for Martinez, and then the late substitutions work because it helps you out the win.
And the individual brilliance thing as well, I just think he's such a... Tell me the last team that won anything without individual brilliance.
Well, to be honest,
what are you talking about?
You could argue Liverpool won a title because of Mo Salah's individual brilliance.
You have to have individual brilliance.
I get sometimes you might look at it and go, well, we were dreadful, but we had that one moment of magic or whatever, if it's that kind of game. But I think it's a little bit overused.
But again, though, be fair. Because if you're blaming the system for every time we concede a goal, whether that's De Ligt kicking the ball into Yoro and Mateta running through on goal, which could easily have been a goal, or Yoro slipping over and tripping up Mateta in the process, if that penalty goal that they scored was because of Amarim's system of formation, why isn't the goals that we score anything to do with the system of formation?
No, you can't have it both ways.
And sometimes on individual cases you can say that, but you need your players to produce individual brilliance. That's what everything is.
Yeah.
Other than just walking the ball in every single time because you've carved them open with this undeniable sort of show of tactical nous. Unless you score every goal like that, you're relying on people in the final third, top quality players to do difficult things. I was saying it before the goal. You need your attackers to do things that are difficult because otherwise they're not top players. Xerxes did something really difficult for that goal today, and that's what's pushed us on to win the game. That's just part of football. That's what happens. That's not a problem. That's not a defect of the system. That's just good players doing good things.
I agree. Dan United 94, and I am going to be that guy and read out a compliment to myself. Says this channel is carried by Jay Motty's individual brilliance. I mean, I've ignored all the trolling.
And that is a problem with the system.
Yeah, I've ignored 100%. All the negative comments and just read out a positive one for me. Red Baron says, rather play a top team than West Ham next. Shane Gates says, thanks for the great content, guys. Happy with the win. Missed the game, but how was Wharton's audition? That is a very good question. Joseph, I mentioned it to you in the watch-along. Yeah. How do you rate Adam Wharton's audition? Because we asked it before the game. We said it's a bit of an audition. We've seen it already with Carlos Baleba this season. I think he flopped his audition, if we want to just make it that sort of basic argument. We've seen it with Elliot Anderson. He smashed his audition, played very well against Manchester United, and was exactly the kind of play we need. What did you make of Adam Wharton today?
I thought it was all right. It didn't have, like I said, so much of the game was just the ball bouncing in the air and kicking each other and pushing each other out of the way. And I don't necessarily think that's where he thrives and is able to show what he's best at. But I don't think it was bad. It was just, I would say, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think you should never buy a player just based on how he plays against you. I remember Jack Rodwell, when we were loosely linked with him when he was at Everton, had a really good game. He came on, I think, he came on as sub against us and scored and looked good. And it was Tuchel was going for him, and that would have been a disastrous signing. I think we can all agree on that one. So you have to base it on more than just how they've performed against you. What I think is, if you are looking at a player, if you are being linked with him, and he has a good game against you, it doesn't hurt. Yeah. So someone like Elliot Anderson, for example, who we have been linked with, him playing well against us won't discourage that. Someone like Baleba, who've been linked with, who's having a bad season and then doesn't turn up against you, that doesn't help his case, if you can call it that. So, yeah, I thought Adam Wharton was, I think 6 out of 10 is fair. Yeah. I don't think he did that much wrong, but I don't think he did much great. And getting subbed after 77 minutes doesn't indicate he was smashing it, does it? No. Ivan Top says, it's been top. It's Ben Top, I'll get there in the end. Says, first time in ages I've been happy. I woke up early for a match. Let me get this right. I'm struggling.
You can read.
I can do this. First time in ages I've been happy I woke up early for a match. Thank you. I thought Bruno showed some real leadership quality today. Loved the manager not making just a load of changes and running the flow as well. Good day all round. Interesting today, wasn't it, Casemiro finishing the game? I think it's only the Forest game that he's done that. And we've spoken about this, about how we can't keep relying on someone who doesn't finish games. What did you make of both him and Bruno today?
I thought first half they both looked patchy.
Yeah.
Neither of them have got the relentless physicality and legs that you need in when the game is in that type of state. And you can't, it's the sort of thing you can't add on to your game later. You can't become 6'4". You can't, put more strength. We can, I guess, put more strength in your legs. But there's a physical, innate kind of level that you are at as a person, and you can't manufacture that. I think what they did show well, and Casemiro, I was more surprised to see it because Bruno does this every week, was the longevity throughout the game to keep up the levels they had in the first half. And where in the first half those levels weren't quite enough, as the game went on and Palace tired, all of a sudden our level stayed here, they were here, and they've dipped down below us, and now we're the ones that have managed to stay there. So that's why fitness is a big thing, because you can't add that top level explosiveness, but you can raise your bottom end to the point where you're not going to dip in the last half an hour like Palace did.
Yeah.
And that won us the game, or partly won us the game, the ability to control it. Because after we scored that second goal, Palace posed no threat to us whatsoever, which is amazing. You know, that is the thing that really shocked me most about this game, is how confident we looked after the goals went in. You know, Palace never brought this, overwhelming spell of pressure that United struggled against. It was relatively comfortable for us. And a large part of that probably was they played Thursday night and we didn't. And we've got good fitness in the legs, which might tick you along for the last 20 minutes. And again, like you said, Casemiro usually gets subbed off because it's judged that he doesn't typically have that sort of amount of fitness in his legs. For whatever reason, he didn't sub him off today, and I don't think he looked particularly slow or poor in the second half. I think he helped control the game. So, yeah, really good, those two overall. And Bruno, as he always does, popping up with 2 assists. Harsh to give him either of them, really, when you think of the quality of the finishes. A 1-yard roll of the ball to Mount, and putting the ball over there was a decent pass to Xerxes, but Xerxes had a hell of a lot to do. But that's what Bruno does, just pops up with them, doesn't he?
I think, 100%. I think the thing is, if you, before a game, you say you want to see certain things, and then you see those things, and you win, I don't think you can moan.
No.
Like, before the game, we were sat here, and we were saying we wanted to see fight and belief and a bit of energy and a bit of graft from the team. And the first half, I don't necessarily think it was there, but second half it was, certainly.
Yeah.
We also said we wanted to see something from Mason Mount, and we did. He got the winner. So there's that. Xerxes, there's a lot of question marks again about him. I want to see an improvement from the Everton game, but I don't think Joshua Xerxes was perfect by any stretch of the imagination today. There's times when he was quite frustrating, but it was a very, very good goal. It was an
amazing goal.
Like, that was a half chance, really.
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish.
So you got to give him credit there, because if he doesn't score that, then we don't get the win today. So we've seen those things that we wanted to see, and we've got to win away at a ground where not many teams go there and get wins, and Palace rarely lose. It's very difficult to beat under Oliver Glasner. And yes, you can go and as mitigating circumstances, played on Thursday, all the rest of it, but it's a good win at a difficult place to get a win. Seeing some of the things we wanted to see.
Yeah.
And that's all I've been asking for as a United fan. I don't expect us to go to Palace. I don't say we should go down winning 3 or 4-0, or I expect us to be smashing teams every week in, week out. I just want to see what I would consider, a given at United. I want to see us grafting. I want to see us trying. I want to see some quality, especially in that final third. And I thought we saw a bit of that today.
100% agree. About. And it's and I'm glad you've said that, because it is worth reminding ourselves of that at times.
Yeah.
Where, like, what do we want to see from this game that maybe we haven't seen from similar games to this? Working hard for the full 90 minutes, no drop-offs, not dropping our heads if we concede a goal, not allowing the opposition too much of the ball and get overwhelmed when United do take the lead. We didn't see any of that, especially in the second half. The first half was a bit back and forth, a bit of a shit show. Too many mistakes, all the things we've already mentioned, how scrappy that first half was. But then when it becomes time for someone to push on and take hold of the game, it was us that did that.
Yeah.
And you have to give them credit. You have to give the players credit, give the manager whatever credit you want to give him. I give him an average amount of credit. I think it was a lot on the players today, and I think it was a lot on the players last week against Everton when they didn't show that.
Okay,
they didn't have
consistent.
That intensity. I think that the players turned up today.
Yeah.
And that's, again, I'm not trying to say the manager did nothing right, but I think you've got to look at what the lads on the pitch did, and the second half they were much better, and I give them credit for that. And even in the first 10 minutes, you could see, I think there was a step up from the Everton game. Like I said, we lack that innate physicality that allows you to win a lot of those duels in the first half, but I could see that there was more of an intensity and more of an effort from them today, and that for me is like you said, we've got to give them credit for doing a lot of the things that we wanted them to do before the game started. So yeah, really good.
Hopefully we get some quotes as well if we can from Amorim. I think he's spoke post-match to TNT. Luke Shaw was excellent today, says Akash K. One thing that concerned me was we never competed in the duels, especially in the first half, but such quality goals made the difference. We were okay this game, second half, 100%. So slices of FSIB. So Abishekri says, when he kicked the corner flag after the pen, I had told Palace will lose. Mr. Robinson says, I love seeing Jay Poppins and Johnson's chat earlier. Yep. It's stunning. Still some people sort of criticising Bruno and saying he had a bad game despite the assists, others sort of giving him his flowers. Red Baron 245 55 says, Adam, last video, we're getting relegated tonight. We're going to win 21. Mick 9983 says, fair play, Joe. Voice of reason. A few people as well pointing out that most salaries on the bench for the Scousers, apparently.
Good.
So
not good for me. Good. That's the right thing to do if you're managing him.
Like,
he's been poor all season.
Well, I'm hoping that's just the start. The end. The wheels are coming off for them in their shitty little club.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. How important, Joe, and I feel like I say this to you every week after we win, or when we win, not that we win every week, but you get my point, is it that we build on this then? Because we're happy with that second half performance. We're happy with the result, obviously. How important is it that this means more than just the 3 points in its, on its own, but we can actually do something on the back of this rather than having a good game, having a good win, and then being shy next week?
The thing I'm going to say that might disappoint you is...
Go on.
We aren't ready to do that yet.
Okay.
That's I think as a club, I'm not saying we won't beat West Ham.
Yeah.
But I think we're always going to have moments this season where you go, they had a chance to capitalise there.
Yeah.
If we'd have won that one, we'd have gone fourth. That was the one everyone dropped points and we dropped. Because that's just where we are. I think we're probably, from watching us this season, somewhere between the 4th and 7th best team, 4th and 8th best team in the Premier League, depending on any sort of 5-match run. I think that's roughly where we are. I think that's roughly where this squad is, and I think that's what we're going to see this season. Is a lot of that where you go, that was the chance, and then other times we'll pull a couple of results out of nowhere, and we'll go 5th or we'll go 3rd for a bit or whatever it is. So I think we're going to be frustratingly inconsistent this season. But I think across a 38-game season, hopefully that will amount to European football.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm not saying I expect us not to beat West Ham, but I think this season is unfortunately going to be full of, can we do it? Oh, no, we didn't do it. Wow, where's that one come from? So this is just sort of where we are. I think I want to keep seeing all the things we saw in the second half today more consistently. And if you can keep the injuries off, that'll help a few points here. Fitness up, that'll help a few points there, etc. But I think we've just got to accept the fact that it's going to be a little bit up and down this season, but hopefully far more ups and fewer downs than last season. That's what to expect.
No, I think that's a great point. We want to see some progress, don't we?
Yeah.
And when we said progress, and Ronnie always says this, no, finishing 13th technically is progress, but I don't mean that. I mean, I want to see us challenging. I want to see us challenging for Champions League places. I do. And we might fall short, we might not end up getting there, but we should be at least in that conversation, because I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility. I think you look at the way the Premier League is this season, look at how bad Liverpool have been, that sort of almost takes them out of the equation, which no one saw coming. You look at other teams that have been very up and down, teams like Newcastle, for example. Spurs have been very Spursy, haven't they? I know they were crap last season, but they're always thereabouts. Usually, aren't they?
Usually.
I think there's only City and Arsenal that you go, that's set in stone. They're going to be in the top 4 no matter what. But you look at other teams, and Chelsea have been sort of quite good this season, but they can always have these sort of wobbly moments. So I think Manchester United needs to be thereabouts. We need to see us sort of challenging for those spots. And if we do fall short, say we finish somewhere like 7th, which wouldn't be great, and I'm not going to sit here as a United fan saying I'd be happy with 7th, but I think that might be enough for Ruben Amorim to keep his job and to show that he's moving this forward, and that there's a reason that he's making the decisions he's made. Hopefully, though, we can do a lot better than that. We've got some quotes from the game. Do hit that like button. And don't forget as well to check out the merchandise. You can see what I'm wearing. We've got other merchandise available. There you go. Some of it's popped up there. There's a link in the chat. If you get it in now, your orders, if you've got to buy yourself a Christmas present or someone else a Christmas present, it will get delivered in time for Christmas. But you need to act quickly on that one. So you need to get your orders in over the next few days to guarantee it is in time for Christmas. Right, I've got some quotes here. Mason Mount says, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very, very good with no problems. Pretty good.
Good to hear.
Yeah, Ruben Amorim. Well, it is actually, because for Mason Mount, our issue with him has been his fitness. It's not necessarily his ability, it's his fitness, but he's done well so far this season. I think we've had some good performances, a couple of goals as well, and obviously a very important one today. Ruben Amorim to TNT Sports on Man United scoring the joint most set pieces in the Premier League. It's so important in our league. Throw-ins, free kicks, corner kicks, in the Premier League. If you don't work on set pieces, you are losing the game already.
Can I just give him better credit for that? Do you know when we like to go through all of the things that Ruben Amorim hasn't improved at Man United?
Yeah.
And there are plenty of things. I'm not, like we always say, two things can be true. We were one of the worst teams in the league at corners and set pieces a couple of seasons ago. Do you remember it was, 58, 68 corners in a row?
Eric Ramsey became the most famous man
We were
at
all
United.
counting them. Will we get to 100 corners before we score a goal?
Yeah.
To go from that to being one of the best or equal best team in the Premier League at scoring from set pieces, you've got to give... That doesn't happen by accident.
No.
It's a lot of the same players, let's be honest, putting those balls in. I know Burmo's coming on one side. But we've worked on that. We've seen there's a place to capitalise, and we're doing it to the point where it's winning us games. You have to give someone credit for that. That's brilliant. That's a really good thing that we've done.
It used to
I'm
be
really happy with that.
a running joke where I stand at Old Trafford that when we got a corner, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Like, why we shouldn't even take it. Like, because we just never scored from corners. We never scored from set pieces. Our record at free kicks was equally as abysmal. So you're right. Like, look, if you're going to give him criticism for things, you give him credit for other things. That's what he's spot on. Talking to Ruben Amorim, he said, it is important to win every game. Today was proof that if you play the same way but increase the way we fight for the ball and the small details, we can beat everyone. I think that is a valid point as well. We were talking about that before. And then obviously the set piece point as well. Also on Bruno Fernandes, his hamstring. Amorim's clarified that. He says, no, it was a kick. I was shouting at him because he needs to talk with the bench, but he said it was a kick, so everything is okay.
He would say that. It could be fucking pulled pork behind his femur, and he would say it was a kick, wouldn't he? He's just going to play. Like, I mean, maybe it was a kick, but with Bruno, you just think he'll play next week no matter what. He'll lie. He'll just play anyway. He's unbelievable, isn't he? His body needs studying for science when it comes to injuries and
weird.
Prevention of injuries. It's incredible.
I've never seen anything like it. I know players like Ronaldo and Messi don't get injured a lot, but this guy never gets injured.
No, and he's doing more running and sprinting than most players are. Like he's all over the pitch.
The amount of minutes he plays as well, because he very rarely gets subbed.
Yeah.
And he plays every game. I know this season is a bit of an outlier because he's not playing as many games because we're not in Europe. But usually, Bruno Fernandes ends up, when you have those tables at the end of the season, most minutes, it's him and a load of goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... And he's usually top of it.
Yeah.
Like, he just literally plays so many games. I think there was that... Was it the it might have been the last World Cup year. I think it was, where he played like more minutes than almost anyone in history. It was just like...
And then you see those, and occasionally you'll see someone like a Rodri stick in there.
Yeah.
And then 18 months later, he's done his crucial.
Yeah, he's out for a year.
He's had 2 years now, basically, of being injured for a lot of it. Whereas Bruno's been top of those lists year in, year out for 6 or 7 years. He's in his 30s, and he's remains unblemished.
Because every season, like, even seasons we haven't done that well, we've ended up getting to the last stages of cup competitions.
Yeah.
So United have been to like quite a few finals, quite a few semi-finals. We got to like 5 semi-finals under Ole, a final under Ole. We got to, was it 4 finals under Eric Ten Hag, whatever it was?
Yeah.
3 or 4, I can't remember. And then he plays all the time for Portugal. He plays every minute in the Premier League as well. This is a guy that just, he absolutely smashes it. And at a time when all the players around him are injured almost constantly. Well, they've got this merry-go-round of players around him. Yeah, he's just steadfast. Way of weird, says Jay. You should never have said that. Sorry. I'll jinx us here. Vinye Basrao says Wirtz is having a good season. Yeah, he is. He's doing really well in Belly. I think he's got 2 goals. He's only got 2 goals less than Mason Mount. To be fair,
it's not too bad.
Season. He's not too shabby, that is it?
Slag enough Mount.
Yeah, I mean, have a bit of that. Eric Uzia says Luke Shaw today was a real fire. Mason Mount as well, pressing at 80 minutes like it's the start of the game. That's the mentality we need. Luke Shaw, I was speaking the other day about how for me it's a no-brainer that Lisandro Martinez starts over Luke Shaw, and I'm not changing my mind. But I thought he was very good today. I thought he was much better because I thought he was particularly bad against Everton. He frustrated me a lot, but he was up for it today. Made some big challenges and was one of the main reasons we won the game. Getting Martinez back on the pitch is good, though, isn't it? That's another
nice
big bonus for Manchester United.
Yeah, it was probably going to be a while before he's back to full fitness and back to himself again. But always better when he's available. Over the last 3 years, whenever he's been playing, we've looked better. So let's have him play.
Did you say he's been training for about a month?
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
He's
They're obviously sort of biding the time with him somewhat, but makes sense. And also, this isn't this wasn't a testimonial. We didn't just give him a cameo at the end of a meaningless game. He came on with 10 minutes to go, whatever it was, we've added time. Yeah. In a game we were 1 goal up in, where we needed him to perform, and he did, to be fair. He looked quite good when he came on, so hopefully he'll be okay. Dario Brubeck says, Jay, can you sing Smelly Cat with that cold? No, I can't. In fact, I'm going to put everyone out of their misery by wrapping this up now, because, I'm struggling. Don't forget, if you've not done so already, to hit like, share and subscribe. Go and check out the merch as well. There's a link in the chat to that. We're going to be hearing from Stephen House. We're going to be hearing from Andy Tate as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Before I go, Averma12 says, why is Isaac criticised if Poole don't play him? Have Liverpool played him at all this season? Yes, they have. And he's rubbish. They're all rubbish at Liverpool.
He's been terrible this season. He's started and played a decent number of games. It's just been terrible.
Way of Weird, which is Glenn F, says, Joe, you've been saying some excellent stuff lately. So there you go, you see. I like the fact it says lately there.
Is it April the 1st?
And Glenn F there, who's sometimes been a critic of yours, but...
One of my great critics.
Yeah.
But I love Glenn F.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that we're coming together on some common ground.
He's acknowledged that lately...
Thank you very much, Glenn.
Recently, you've actually said some things which are all right, which, is nice for you.
You sick, twisted little pig.
Go and check out Joe on the Sloppy Joe's podcast. Very funny stuff there. Go and check that out. You know where to find me. That's been Joe Smith. I'm Jay Martin. This has been a review. Manchester United winning 2-1 at Sellers Park against Crystal Palace. 21 is coming. Thanks for watching.